Welcome to Conversations with Kay, talking all things fashion, pageants, and beauty. Here's your host, Katie Maskey.
Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Kay. I'm so happy that you've tuned in and that you're joining us this week. So this week's episode is dedicated to one of my good friends, my guest, Jackie Blankenship. And I'm really excited to talk to her about all of the great things that she's got coming up. She is a Mrs. competitor getting ready for a Mrs. pageant. I know she'll share a little bit about that. And just talking about her journey, she's got a lot going on in her life right now. So I can't wait to share her story and everything that she's up to these days. So, and especially too, she's coming from the Miss pageant world into transferring over to the Mrs. competitor competition world, I should say. So, hopefully she'll have some good advice for you there, for any of you that are also making that transition from Miss to now into the married world. But looking forward to talking to Jackie, and we'll be right back.
This week on Lighten Up, I head over to Bar 145 to find out how to put a healthy spin on an American classic. Check it out now on Avail.
Okay, so I am here with my good friend Jackie Blankenship. And Jackie, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
I am doing good. So let's talk a little bit about how we met, because I think that that's important, right? So we've known each other, what, for a couple of years now?
Yeah, since 2012.
Since 2012. Okay, so the story is I won the Mrs. Midwest Galaxy title in 2011, went and competed that summer, and then that following, what was it, February?
It was November, actually.
Oh, was that?
Because she held the pageant really
11th.
early.
Okay, yeah. So then that fall, after I came back from nationals, I went and made an appearance at Miss Michigan Galaxy.
Yeah.
And that was when you won the Miss Michigan Galaxy title.
It was my first pageant I ever won.
It was? I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
But that was not your first pageant you competed in.
No.
What?
No, I've gotten a lot of seconds and thirds.
A lot of seconds.
And a lot of not placing.
Well, yeah, being in the first runner-up status is tough, right?
It's hard to break out of.
It's hard to break out of it. So, but you did, before Michigan Galaxy, what did you do?
I did USA a lot. I grew up doing baton twirling pageants, so if anyone's familiar with baton, they might know some of those.
Yeah.
I did Sunburst, when I was a young teen.
Oh, yes. It's a good place to start, right? You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, it's fun.
I don't know the baton world, but I think being involved in pageants and now having friends like you and Kim and other people, I've learned about it. It's interesting.
It's different. It's its own world. So things that we thought were normal in that pageant system, it's not normal.
It's not.
Like big poofy ball gowns that you would never wear now, and like weird.
Do they still do it still
kids.
like that? It's still like that today?
No, not quite as bad, but it's still a little behind the times.
Gotcha.
Like, you'll see girls in, like, chiffon dresses from, like, 5 years ago, but that's what's winning.
So it's just a different type of pageant.
It's just different, yeah.
It's just different. Okay. So you won Miss Michigan Galaxy then in 2012, and we went to nationals together because I ended up going back a second time. And that was kind of when we became good friends. So competing in the Galaxy pageant system, for those who don't know the Galaxy pageant system, it is a fun system. I mean, it is
really fun.
Yeah. So here's the cool thing, though, for those that don't know, what's your current title now?
Mrs. Midwest.
Mrs. Midwest Galaxy. So you took my title, which I'm so excited about. Okay,
that is so cool.
But this was not your first Mrs. pageant, correct?
No, I did Mrs. Michigan America in 2015.
Okay, so you got married in 2014? 2013.
You were part of the wedding.
I know. I'm losing track of time. I'm sorry.
It all blends together.
Okay, so Mrs. Michigan America was your first Mrs. pageant.
Yes.
So I've always competed as a Mrs., so I don't really know the difference. So tell me, what's your best advice to those that are transitioning from the Miss world to the Mrs. world?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I know, right?
I don't know. I think it's just going in and experiencing it firsthand because I didn't know what to expect. And it's definitely different. Interview was totally different. Totally different.
Okay. How so?
They ask you so much more about your family and your husband and what you do, like more day-to-day things, while Miss asks you a little more, I don't know, stupid questions. Just being honest, a lot of Miss pageants ask you questions just to get to know you and see how you'll answer. And so they're just fun.
Yeah.
They're steering away from those political questions, I feel like. At least it's what I've seen.
Yeah, yeah.
But in Misses, it goes away from that silly fun and a little more serious, but it's still lighthearted.
Right. No, I agree. I mean, again, I didn't compete as a Miss, but I feel like the questions, even though I do get some questions about my husband and about, our marriage and stuff, they still are really interested in learning about me as a person, which I appreciate. So, okay, so you're getting ready for Mrs. Galaxy, which is in August.
Yes.
So what's the biggest thing that you're doing to prepare?
Oof. Well, right now, mostly getting my wardrobe. I guess I'm doing that to prepare right now because there's the 5 events. You have interview, you have fashion wear, photogenic, swimwear, and evening gown. And so the money just keeps rolling out.
Yes, that's true. Pageants are expensive.
Yeah. Well, especially for this because you can do it as expensive or as cheap as you want. And I've seen people do really inexpensive things and do very, very well. It's just up to you, but you have to be able to dig. You have to be that person that can find those deals.
Yes, agreed. Okay, so I have to
I'm
just
not that
mention.
person.
No, I have to mention I love being on this side of the interviewing because for those who don't know, Jackie is actually a news reporter for Fox 17 in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Yes.
So you're usually the one interviewing. So what does it feel like being the interviewee?
It feels weird not having control. Like I'm used to being like, here's my mic. I'll just cut you off if you suck. But I can't cut anyone off.
Thank you for not cutting me off, apparently. Okay, so
it's your show.
But it's my show. A lot of you may recognize Jackie's voice from the intro, though. So, yeah. Okay, so on a serious note, though, you've got something else exciting coming up. I know I'd love for you to kind of share your story there and talk a little bit about your platform because that's a part of your story. So, what do you have coming up?
So we have a baby on the way with a surrogate. It's my sister is carrying this baby for us. We have donor eggs, so someone else's eggs we got from an egg bank, and my husband's sperm, and we are due June 7th.
That's so exciting, which is my husband's birthday, which I think is funny because
it is.
Yes, it's Russell's birthday. You didn't know that?
No. That's awesome.
June 7th is his birthday. So
they can share a birthday.
They can share a birthday.
That's cool. That is
okay,
cool.
So but with that, you do a lot of work with infertility and helping women with that because that's really why you have a surrogate, right?
Right. I was born with a rare syndrome called complete androgen insensitivity syndrome, and I don't have ovaries or a uterus. So I grew up a little different. I mean, when you don't have that, you don't have a period, you don't go through a lot of the body changes that you go through as a normal or, teenage girl. So I had a different experience growing up. So I knew my whole life I will not have children because I knew this at a very, very young age. But then it didn't really hit me until I became old enough and wanted to have children. So my original platform was about body awareness and how everyone's different and it's okay. But then as I kind of moved forward in my life and decided to have a baby, this kind of developed. I have more of a passion for this right now.
Right. So you, with your, obviously you're in the public eye a lot with being a news reporter, and previous to that, I know you were a radio personality. So you blog a lot, you've got a lot of followers. So I know you share your story quite a bit through your blog and through your, social media pages. So what has the response been from people?
It's been really good. People really like seeing the story, and something that's been helpful to me. A lot of people want to say, thank you for sharing this. I felt alone. And then I feel weird because I'm like, no, thank you for writing to me, because I share it and then I've gotten hundreds of emails from people and a shocking amount of women who have my syndrome, which is 1 in 40,000. So
Really?
it's insane. 1 in 40,000 has my specific syndrome. 1 in 2,000 has one somewhat similar in the range. So it's been shocking to meet other women with mine, or women. I've had a woman email me and say, I watch you every morning. I saw your blog. My daughter has your syndrome and we've never met anyone with it. So this is cool.
Wow. Well,
So,
because I know when you told me about it, I had never heard of that before either. And I think that I think there's a lot of syndromes out there that can cause infertility. So there's a lot of different.
So many.
So yeah, so I think that it's neat that you're getting out there and speaking on that behalf, because even though people might not have your exact syndrome, which I'm surprised that there are that many that have reached out to you that do, but
I was too.
Yeah, but even that, just talking on, infertility and shedding that light. So
1 in 8 couples for one reason or another can't have children. So that's what the statistics right now in the US is 1 in 8. And that's a lot. And so I felt like I'm 1 in 40,000 and I've accepted that. But there's 1 in 8. That means they're everywhere. And it's way better to talk to them.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's sad because there are so many causes that can affect that. So what's your advice for somebody who maybe is just now kind of realizing that she's having these, problems, that the infertility is a part of her life now, and what's your kind of advice for her?
Well, it's kind of hard because, like I said, I've grown up knowing, so I don't have that same experience. So it's hard. I still am learning to put myself more empathetic and sympathetic with these people who are just finding out and are angry and upset, because I've looked at it as a happy experience. Like, we'll make it work, but they're not always going through that. So my advice is go talk to your local fertility center and go in knowing what you will not do. And that sounds weird, but there's so many things you can do to try to have a baby, between shots, hormone drugs, IVF, adoption, like so many things. So you need to know what am I not going to do? Like, I don't want to do IVF. That's fine. If that's something that you are against, but go in knowing that's the cutoff. When he tells me the last ditch effort is IVF, I'm out. Because if you don't go in, it's going to be months of, I don't know when, like, you'll never know when you hit your rock bottom. So I think having that, like, I went in and that's the first thing the doctor said to me. When do you know that you're done and you're just going to try to adopt? And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, well, that's something you need to decide, because otherwise I can take your money all day and keep trying.
Gotcha.
And so you got to come up with that. I will do 5 rounds of IVF. And after 5, I don't care. I'm done. And then I'll move on to another option. Like, you just need to kind of come up with that mental plan. And I also think if you are doing IVF, if you are doing IVF, they tell you, they're very optimistic because they're not going to be negative. It's known to work after 3 to 5 rounds.
Okay.
The thing is, people try it once and it's a long process, and when it doesn't work, they're like, I'm done, and they throw their hands up and they're done. It took us 4 rounds, and with my sister, who's a perfectly healthy candidate. So it can take a long time. I recommend giving it a few rounds before you just throw in the towel, because you spend so much money. You might as well try it again. Yeah.
And that's just it. I mean, it is very costly, and I agree. I mean, it can be very expensive. It's not anything I've personally dealt with, but I know my sister and I know a lot of people that, have put a lot of money into different infertility treatments. So I think that's great advice, is knowing what your cutoff is and sticking to that, and getting up to that point. And when you get to that point, saying, you know what, I need to be okay with moving on. Okay, so she's coming, you're having a girl, I know that, and she's coming in June, so what are you, most looking forward to? Obviously, other than just having a baby in general.
I'm most looking forward to, I don't know, hanging out with her, meeting her and seeing what she looks like. Do you guys want to see the nursery?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I can show you. Okay, here we go. We're going to walk up the stairs. This is my house, too. Oh, here, you'll like this. That's all my crowns from all the pageants I won.
Nice. See, so you've won some crowns. You're acting like you've never won.
Well, I didn't really win anything big until 2012. Like, that was my first big girl pageant. The rest were Sunburst and...
Yeah.
Sorry, my phone took a bump.
That's okay.
Okay, so can I flip the camera?
I think so.
How do I do that?
I don't know. Maybe not.
Hold on. Can you see?
I can. Oh,
So this is
cute.
the
So
nursery.
is that like a jade color?
Yeah, it's like a teal.
Teal. Okay. Cute.
That's
Little
her initials.
monogram.
These are the hair bows.
Well, of course, that's important for a little girl.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's the dresser. And these are all the things I haven't put away yet.
Okay.
And I made that.
Oh, you went off. I lost you.
Am I back?
There you go. It's probably, I think it's the moving, so.
It's moving.
Good.
It doesn't like me moving.
No, it doesn't like you moving. All right, so good. That's, your room looks very cute. Baby Greenlee is going to be all set and ready to go when she makes her arrival.
She's ready.
She's ready. She's ready. Okay, so lastly, you are, as you're prepping for nationals, you're prepping for your baby coming here. You also have a big hobby. What's your other big hobby? Tell the world this.
Running!
Running! Yes. You
I love to run!
Where did you just run?
The Boston Marathon.
And how many times have you done that?
2.
2. So that was your second time. So how do you juggle everything? Like, how is that going to happen?
Once I have the baby.
Yeah.
Or now. Once I have the baby, I don't know. In a perfect world, I will either make myself get up before Jim goes to work, my husband, and go for my run, and then I'll be home with the baby all day while he goes to work.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he'll get home at 5 and I go for my runs.
Just fit it in somewhere. It's important
Yeah,
you have to fit it in somewhere.
It's just like anyone who's training or does fitness. There's 24 hours in a day, and that baby will sleep. And I don't care what anyone says. I know I don't have one yet. It's 24 hours in a day, and there's 2 of you. You can work out for 20 minutes.
Yes, I agree. No, I agree. Because I know running is a huge part of your life. And just like anything, whether it's running or it's, crafting or whatever it is that's important to you, your hobby, you make time for it, and you find out. And like you said, even if it's just a half hour or, 20 minutes or it's an hour out of your day, whatever, there's 24 hours in the day. You work it out, you make time for it. So
you may not get very much sleep, but you can do it.
You might not get the sleep, but you'll get your hobby.
Yeah. You'll be really wired on caffeine.
Yes. Well, you've got a lot of exciting things going on. So how can people follow your journey? I know you've got a couple different pages and blogs and things, so share those.
Facebook.com/onairjackie. Then I've got my blog, which is jackieonair.blogspot.com.
Awesome.
And then I've got a podcast too. It's not a video podcast, so it's not near as cool as this, but it's just called Jackie on Air, and you can find it on iTunes. And I just actually interviewed Jacqueline Schultz, who was a former Miss Michigan USA.
Awesome.
She's cool. She has a similar syndrome to me, and she actually just got done with Survivor and got second place, first runner-up.
Oh, wow.
So she was on the show Survivor. Yeah, she told me some crazy stories, if you listen to that. Crazy stories.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so I'm ending my segments with 5 quick rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So I've got 5 questions I'm going to ask you. First thing that comes to your mind, and just give me one word answer. Okay, ready?
I think
ready? So. Okay.
I don't know.
Favorite pizza topping?
Pineapple.
Mine too. Your favorite TV show?
Chuck. It's not even on here anymore, but it's my favorite.
Okay. Favorite weekend activity?
Ooh. Going to concerts. I like going to concerts.
Concerts, okay. Your favorite place in Michigan?
Grand Rapids.
And what is your favorite area of competition?
Fun fashion. Or fashion wear. They took away fun fashion.
Right,
But
right.
yeah,
fashion wear.
fashion.
Got it.
It's most
Awesome.
fun.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I can't wait to help you get ready for Mrs. Galaxy.
I'm excited.
I helped coach the last one, and she won. So
I know.
hoping that we've got 2 in a row, back to back.
That would be cool.
That would be
cool.
very cool. So thank you very much for spending some time with me, and make sure everybody
Thanks,
you go
guys.
follow all her pages and stay up on her journey.
Thanks.
Thank you. See you, Jackie.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much, Jackie. Again, I appreciate her spending the time with us today and really hearing her story. I think she's had a lot of great advice, especially for those of you who may be dealing with some of the same things that she's dealing with as far as the infertility struggles. I think she had some really great advice there. Is just knowing when to say, you know what, enough is enough, and being okay with that, and trying all the alternatives. So I appreciate her sharing her story. I know it's not always an easy thing to talk about, but she's really done a lot with her platform and just really helping other women that are going through the same thing. So thank you, Jackie, again for sharing that. And I think it's important to know that, you know, you can do it all. She's a runner. She, you know, has a career. She's getting ready to compete at a national pageant. She has a baby on the way, and, you know, you make it work. If it's something that you really want and you really want to put the work in for it, like she said, there's 24 hours in the day. You find the time and you can make it work. You can make it happen. So I appreciate that advice, especially because sometimes I feel like I can't do it all. You know, I can only do certain things and not others, but, you know, really, if it's something that's important to me, then I know I can make the time and find the time for it and fit it in. And I appreciate that she, you know, reminded me of that. And I hope that you found some good advice there too. So thank you again, Jackie. Please feel free, reach out to me if you're ever interested in talking with me and having a little conversation, or you've got some great advice for other, you know, maybe competitors or other models or talent that are, you know, out there in the world. I would love to have that conversation with you and share that advice and share all the great things that you're doing. So reach out to me, please, and I hope to talk to you soon. So thank you again for joining in for another episode of Conversations with Kay.